Hi everybody, this is Be Divine and I am the voice of the flame here with a flame frequency update, and this is going to be for the week of June 3rd to 9th, and this will be some things to focus on for those of you who are feeling the calling, who are feeling the return, recalibration energy that's coming in. As the voice of the flame, what this means is it activates the eternal flame within you who knows all things. And as you are listening, you are transmitting and activating ancient codes within your being. And this is how it works. An integration process happens immediately as you allow and accept who you really are as a soul, and you move into your flame sovereignty. So for this week, as a flame frequency update for you all, we're focusing ourselves on really beginning to think about things in your life that you have found to be discouraging or difficult. So you're writing a list or you're doing a journal in your life of things that you found were difficult and things that you have found were disrupted in your life in some way. Maybe there was something that you were trying to achieve in your lifetime and it didn't work. Relationships, situations with your family, parents, for example, as well. On this journey, and we've already been through a massive spiritual journey, right? And all of these different older offerings are still available to people, with all of the different healing methods and readings and all that sort of thing. But as you step into your flame energy and your flame sovereignty, you no longer need anyone to validate or tell you things, right? It wakes up inside of you. It wakes your own prophecy codes up. So by writing down some things in your life that for this week ahead, you just write down some things that were a disappointment to you, or something that didn't work in your favor, or something that you felt like was missing, okay? And I want you to focus on, for this week, speaking that thing out loud, okay? So you're speaking something out loud. So it might be something like, I'm disappointed because I didn't have a high-paying job when my children were small. Or I might be disappointed because I didn't finish school, right? Or I might be disappointed because I didn't get the job that I wanted. Or whatever it is, you're kind of getting this flow. Now, by speaking it out loud, saying it, writing it down and saying it out loud, you are mentioning what it is that you felt was lacking, and then straight away you can replace it with something positive. For example, I wish I had a higher paying job when my kids were small, but I wouldn't have been able to spend so much time with them. And now I've learnt from those past things in my life. I learnt that I still made it anyway. And I learnt that my children were also on their own pathway. And for whatever reason, they may have needed to learn these things as well. So as you can see, if you go through and you see the disappointments in your life or something that happened to you, and you start talking about those things, then you can change what you're glad for, what you're happy about now, how things have adjusted now in your life. And what this does is it bypasses a waiting time. So what you're telling yourself is that even though this situation occurred, it no longer has a hold on me because I figured my way out of it, right? Many of you on this journey are constantly looping in past echoes. That's what it's called, timeline echoes. And I'm someone that can see timelines and help to break you out of those cycles and push you onto the timeline that you're looking for, right? And I'm sure if you think about it, you are someone that if someone comes to you with a problem, what do you have? You have a solution. One of the things about working yourself out and working out your patterns is to understand that as quickly as you've decided that that thing was a disappointment or an upset, as soon as you've decided that, you can also decide that if that hadn't happened, you wouldn't be where you are today. If this hadn't happened, you wouldn't have learnt what you know now, right? So if I had never driven a car, when I jumped in a car when I was 14 and I shouldn't have, if I'd never driven a car, I would never have been able to take my children around Australia. And yes, it was working, and yes, it was going from place to place, and yes, it was difficult. And yes, they didn't have a school here and, you know, a solid home life or whatever you want to call it. But we went places and we did things that we wouldn't have ordinarily done, right? However, I didn't really want to be someone that drove a car. That didn't come into my being till later. And then someone dared me to do something, and of course I'm going to do it, right? So so if you look at these little things in your life, where you thought you were going to be, where you are today, what's the bridge between them? You, every single time. So when people are having trouble manifesting as well, it's because they haven't looked at what was and how they got through it. All they looked at was, oh, this happened, and well, what's going to happen? I'm still waiting. It's not coming. It's not working. It's not this. It's not that. Oh, I've got to stay where I'm at. So a negative looping energetic, you know, timeline echo will continue to roll back because you've never spoken out loud the actual results. I am not saying that there are times in our lives where there are negative things and horrible things that happen, you don't know why. Right? For example, on my 21st birthday, my oldest two children's dad stabbed me. Now, they locked themselves in the bedroom, in the closet. That night, right, after this all carried on, luckily I saved myself, saved the kids, etc., but I saved my throat from being stabbed. It went into the back of my arm instead. After that happened, this catalyst point in my life where I said, this is enough. We're going to sneak out of here and we're not looking back, right? In that point in my life, I could look back at that and say to myself, I was so stupid. I stayed there for too long anyway. I don't know why I went back the second time and then this happened and ga. But it was my 21st birthday. I was young and I had these two young boys at the time and a maniac to deal with. And you're trying to make sense out of a crazy situation, right? So if I had gone back into my life and continually beat myself up for that, instead of saying, you know what, you got out, you survived, now you are able to also teach your children resilience and strength and protection and what to put up with and what not to put up with, right? So there are things in there for them on their journey as well. As much as it is horrific, as much as it was horrific for them to have to hear all of that, not so much luckily see it, but to hear the whole thing as well. And these things could have stopped, you know, these little things like that could have stopped people in their tracks from ever trusting again, from ever opening again. I've seen that so many times in my life with people too. But the thing of it is, this week, this flame frequency is about accessing old things and changing them into something of benefit and making a journal about this. And what does this do? It changes the code within you and opens up a new sequence of events much quicker than trying to manifest something or think positively. You've actually got to change the past in order for your future to be right in your face, the things that you want. And it's also a daily choice. So if you're waking up grumpy every day, you might want to look into where that started from as well. If you like these and you want me to continue these forecasts, let me know. Sending you many, many blessings, of course. And bye for now.